Marcus was a man who had already lost too much. A year ago, on the very day his daughter was born, his wife died during childbirth. He held that little baby girl, Amara, in his arms, knowing she would never hear her mother's voice. He worked long hours in a small mechanic shop, doing everything to give Amara a better life. But on her first birthday, fate struck again. Marcus collapsed at work. The doctors told him he had leukemia, blood cancer. He sold everything he owned, his car, his furniture, even his wife's wedding ring, all to pay for treatment. But the cancer was strong and the bills were stronger. Soon he lost his job, his home, and found himself living on the streets with his daughter. There was one last treatment that could save his life, but it cost $100,000. Marcus didn't have it, so he began shining shoes on the sidewalk, hoping that, little by little, he could save enough. But people avoided him. Some looked at him with disgust, muttering, "You smell," or "Get away from me." Others ignored him simply because of the color of his skin. Even the police harassed him, taking his shoe polish kit and telling him to leave. Still, Marcus refused to give up. On a good day, he made $20 or $30. It wasn't much, but he told himself, one day at a time. One afternoon, a man in a sharp suit stopped in front of him. Without a word, he sat down and let Marcus shine his shoes. When Marcus finished, he said, "That'll be $10, sir." The man handed him $500. "Sir, I don't have change," Marcus said softly. "Keep it," the man replied and walked away. The next day, the same man returned. This time, he asked about Marcus's life, and Marcus told him everything about Jasmine, about Amara, about the cancer, and the treatment he couldn't afford. That evening, the man quietly followed Marcus just to see if his story was true. He watched him buy bread and milk, then returned to the small shelter where Amara slept. No lies, no tricks, just a father trying to save his daughter. The following morning, the man came back, placed a check in Marcus's hand, and said, "Go get your treatment, and when you're ready, come see me." The check was for $100,000. 3 weeks later, Marcus walked into the man's office, healthy, standing tall. The man smiled and said, "Marcus, I don't give charity. I invest in people. You start Monday as my operations manager." Years later, Marcus would tell his daughter that some angels don't have wings. Some wear suits. And every time he passed that old sidewalk, he'd whisper to himself, "One day at a time."